What is good? Happy Hoof Day. Hoof Live. It's Tuesday night. I don't know what you guys are doing, but whatever you're eating tonight, your TV dinner, or if your wife made you something good, congrats, enjoy that, because I ain't got shit. I ain't eating nothing tonight. So,
you sound bitter.
Hey, I'm just a little hungry, dog. Just a little hungry. But
I just chefed up a nice breakfast for dinner, so that was really good.
See, you would say that. What you make? Some like French toast or some Kodak cakes or what y'all call them?
No, oh my God, I had regular waffles because I'm a human being. I had eggs and hash browns, and then I had strawberries and blackberries on the side.
Nice.
Oh, super healthy. So, but hey, look, Anthony, welcome baby Logan into the world.
That's right. He was born on the 28th at 5 a.m. It was quite an exciting moment. It was everything John Fina said on our show last week and so much more. It's an indescribable thing, becoming a father. It's just, everybody says it changes your life, but you really don't know until that moment when it happens, and then the world completely changes. It's awesome. I've loved every second of it so far, even with the lack of sleep and the dirty diapers and all of that. It's been absolutely amazing start to finish. And lucky for us, he looks like his mother, so don't worry.
Yeah. That is confirmed. And the world's lucky that we don't have another Anthony looking like Anthony rolling around here.
You had a lot of time to prepare. So.
That's right. Yeah. We'll see if he gets my personality with her good looks.
Not to be Debbie Downer, but rest in peace.
Little baby in the Buffalo Bills suit, though.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Hey.
I love that.
Wait till the season starts. We're gonna have it going on for sure.
Yeah. So congratulations, bro. Congratulations, man. You were definitely in our hearts and our prayers.
Thank you, everybody on Twitter who reached out and said congratulations. All our loyal Hoof guys, Hoof people out there. Thank you. It's really been amazing. I'm glad to share it with all of you because it was just awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So now another thing we got here. So rest in peace to Screech. Saved by the Bell, homie. 44 years old, passed away, man. He was we all grew up with him, so condolences go there to him and his family. But happy Hoof Live Day. Okay, so we got Anthony in the house, Eric is in here, and then my man Champagne Poppy. All right, he's down there with the Lokes on. With the Lokes. Hey, where's that goblet at, though? Where's that goblet?
Hey, I'm still repping this region, dog, with this Buffalo Bills hat, and we took that L, but I'm still repping this region. Let's go.
All right. And then we got our resident good-looking one over here, Ashley, with the Kodiak cakes. And the
no Kodiak cakes, though.
You be on that life. You be on that life. It's okay.
A little bit, yeah.
It's all good. So we promote healthy living here. So thank you guys for being on the show, man. We'll probably jump back in, but hey, it's the off season. Like, man, it's tough. It's tough right now, guys. Content creators, it's like our season's over, so it's like now is to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, we still got a lot to talk about, though. So this is going to be quite the interesting off season. I think we're going to have a lot to discuss. Even the draft. Obviously, there's the draft, which is the big thing, but the next huge thing. But free agency possibilities, it's all open, man. We got a lot to discuss.
We got a lot to discuss. So we got some topics for tonight, but paying our dues, man. We are proud to be a part of the Cover One Network. So follow, subscribe, okay? We are on all major social media platforms that has podcasts and so forth. We have a great lineup each and every week from the film room. Our guys really do a fantastic freaking job. But you are tuning in with the Hoof Live, and we're going to give some shout-outs real quick. Rick. Now, here's a question for you, Rick. Is that your real last name? Rick? Because if that is, say that fast 5 times, and I don't think you could do it, dog. Champagne, can you do it? I don't think you could do it, dog.
No, I can't. I can't even do it twice, dog. I can't do it twice.
Some people are reporting that we're having issues with the chat in YouTube, so not sure what the deal is there. Hopefully that gets worked out so we can interact with our viewers here. But sorry for those of you who are trying to chat with us and currently cannot. It's not something on our end. It must be something with YouTube. So
Reptile says refresh the chat, and it seems to be okay now. So y'all can't be busting me for no bad internet now. Okay, that's all on YouTube, dog.
There's a lot of show left, though. We'll see.
Hey, look, long as I'm not glitching, I think we're gonna be all right tonight. But
is T-Pain coming on tonight or what?
Hey, T-Pain. Hey, look, we got
T-Pain is legit.
Listen, that's gonna look. I'm about to change my Twitter handle to T-Pain, but we got Champagne Poppy and T-Pain about to do a collab tonight. So, hey, it's all good, baby. Joseph, our guy, Joseph.
Yeah,
man,
you already know.
All right, so what's up, everyone? So, I think hopefully the chat definitely improves and fixes itself. But in the meantime, man, we got a show to do. I know you guys are with the Why So Serious podcast, right? You guys, tell me before we even get into what we got going on. What do you guys got going on right now? Hey, what's up?
We actually just did our last episode yesterday. We usually take a break at the end of the year, so.
Oh, well, we don't get no breaks around here.
We did a show last night. We did a show last night, man. It was on fire, man. I came in that joint raging, pissed off about the game. First of all, listen, we did a show last night talking about something that I spent the entire week trying to heal. So we were late doing the show. And then when we finally got into it, man, I just ripped everything open and just like, look, man, it is what it is, man. I don't want to hear no sympathy stories about what happened with them boys. Let's just tell it like it is. We got beat. They didn't play like they normally play. And that's the end of the game. What's next?
Yep. Well,
just happy to be here.
Oh hell no! That's that Bills Jacksonville playoff mentality. We're just happy to be there. We got to be more than just happy to be here now, man.
Hey, watching the Bills playing the championship game was special for me, so I'm just happy to be here. To lose to the Kansas City Chiefs is not like the end of the world. Like they're beating everybody in the league, right? It's no surprise. So hey, the work's cut out for you if you want to be top of the AFC.
Well, now, hey, listen, man. No, you can't really look at it that way, though. I mean, you got to look at it like this. We went up against a team in the championship that was beat up. They came in there beat up. The quarterback was dizzy and limping all over the field. We had no pass rush. We couldn't get our receivers open because they decided to run a running back that couldn't find no hole whatsoever constantly. So being there is cool, but we got to be there, show them to play like we playing a championship caliber team, and we didn't do that.
And let's not forget we had a very conservative coach Sean McDermott on AFC Championship Day. He usually doesn't look like that. Yes. What was he doing on all these fourth down calls? Like
sad. Yeah, I mean it's
I agree with you there.
As a wise man once said, it is what it is. You can't. It is what it is. It's.
Will, where's the shirt?
I couldn't believe it. You can't beat the Kansas City Chiefs by kicking field goals. You can't kick field goals against Kansas City Chiefs. You're never going to win. You're never going to win like that.
That's certainly part of it, but there was no answer for Tyreek Hill or
we got our butts kicked.
And nobody in the league has an answer for them to this point.
Well, we're going to talk about how to get some answers for that ass, for next year. So, because, look, we got some work to do. All right, the Bills for one were out coached. They were out. They put on a coaching clinic against us. Okay,
mm-hmm. That's exactly right.
You talk about. The Chiefs played. I think over probably close to 60% in dime. The Bills haven't seen that. They're playing dime. They were saying, we're going to match up. You don't have a running game, so we're going to make you one-dimensional. That's kind of the recipe that McDermott kind of uses against other opponents. But it backfired on us this time, man. They were dime and nickels, all they ran. They did not run their base defense at all. So, and they matched up well, and we couldn't score enough points. But you know what's funny though, and I know we're kind of off topic because we got stuff to talk about. But what's kind of funny to me is that like last year, Brandon Beane was like, we just don't score enough points. That was the theme last year coming
exactly.
Into the season. We don't score enough points. So what do? They went out and they got Stephon Diggs, right? And it was great. It's probably the best offseason acquisition that we've seen in the last couple of years, right? We could all agree to that. That's not being a homer, but that is still the theme. We do not score enough points.
Very true.
In order to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, you have to score enough points.
But, I mean, you look at the big improvement they made in that direction when they focused on it. I mean, it clearly tells you that when McDermott and Bean say this is something we're going to focus on, again, I've said it a million times on this show, they don't lie to us. They tell us what they're going to do. Hey, we want to score more points. We're focusing on the offense. And that's what happened. We scored more points. By the way, apparently if you refresh the chat, those of you who are watching, trying to see if you can chat with us, close it out, open it again, or refresh it, and you can chat. Seems to be up and running now. So thank you for those of you who gave us the heads up there.
Yeah. So listen, points is the theme coming in. I don't know what Champagne doing down there, bro. But hey, we gotta score more points. I know that's very John Madden cliche.
I was taking a picture, man, and sending it to somebody, man.
all right. You know,
I tell you what.
I'm multitasking, man. I'm multitasking during the show, man. I got 5 things going on right here. Let's get it.
Okay, let's get this. So our friends over at Trainwreck, man.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Before I read this, Trainwreck is badass. If you want to talk about entertaining and insightful, Trainwreck, they lead the game in the Bills community in terms of that. So Trainwreck Sports says great crew, obviously. I mean, y'all probably just referring to Champagne Poppy and, you know, our beloved Ashley Payne.
You got the MVPs up tonight.
We'll take it. But he says, add J.J. Watt Lombardi. So I'm going to disagree. And then we'll go with this topic. It's a hot topic, okay? So I've been seeing a lot of this on Twitter lately. I'm gonna let Champagne Poppy, you're gonna go first. Your thoughts on J.J. Watt. Eric, you're gonna go next. Ashley, and then Anthony, J.J. Watt. And let's try to, since there's 5 of us, let's hone our points in so we can get it in. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Champagne, J.J.
Watt, man. I mean, all right. Hey, listen, man. J.J. Watt's been an all-time favorite of mine since the boy hit the league. Any team J.J. Watt is on is going to be a mass improvement, you know, in the level of play on that defense. It's almost like you can't find a bad fit for the guy. So, you know, I mean, I'd love to have him in Buffalo, man. I mean, I'd love to have a dude like that. If we had that, I think half of our woes for this last AFC championship would have been over. You got to respect that game. You know, he and his brother just both, you know, light up the league, you know, play phenomenal football. And I do think that, you know, like I said, no matter what system he ends up in or what system he's in, he's always going to contribute. And somebody pointed out before I was talking about him, you know, all his injury here and there. But, hey, man, the boy brings it, injury or not. You can't knock this game. You can't knock his level of professionalism while he's playing that game. And, you know, plus he's a giver, man. He gives back to the community. So, you know, that's welcome on any squad, anywhere.
Buffalo loves that.
All right, Eric, go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, J.J. Watt's a great person off the field, great leader on the field, does it all for the team, but I just don't see it as a good fit. And that's because this team already has good leaders. I mean, J.J. Watt is going to be the alpha male of the team and whatever team he goes to. And I don't think we really need that. We don't need the media circus of J.J. Watt in Buffalo right now. They're only a few pieces away. We don't need large pieces like that. And with the injury history, and, you know, this is older J.J. Watt now, I'm not sure if it's the same guy.
Okay.
You know, I got some questions. That's all.
All right. Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Ashley?
I tend to agree with Eric. To be honest, I think Star Lotulelei coming back next year is going to make a huge difference on that defensive line. So when you bring him back, Jerry Hughes is going to have a lot more freedom to do what he needs to do. I think they're going to build through the draft like they always have and take someone whenever. You know, I don't know who they're going to take in the first round. It's leaning towards a running back, maybe. Who knows? But they love to go defense early in the draft, so I wouldn't be surprised if they take care of that in the second or third round.
Well, you got to remember, it's still a Sean McDermott team. He's still the head coach. He's a defensive mind, whether we like it or not. That's what he likes. As far as J.J. Watt goes, he certainly isn't going to be traded because of the $18 million. But everybody knows he's going to be cut anyway, so nobody's going to want to trade for him because they know he's going to be cut, and you can sign him for whatever you want. I think the only way he ends up in Buffalo is if 2 things happen. One, he accepts low money, literally maybe $5 million a year for 1 year, whatever, $8 million for 1 year. Sure, if you want to come on board. But the second thing is what you guys have kind of alluded to, and Eric, he kind of has to accept that you're not the alpha dog on this team. You're coming in as a veteran who can contribute, who can help maybe tutor these younger guys like Epinesa and whoever we may draft or bring in. So, yeah, I don't see it as a good fit. I don't see it happening. J.J. Watt's a great name, but he hasn't played that great. We've made fun of the announcers for those games that he's played in, saying, "Oh my God, J.J. Watt, amazing, making a sandwich on the sidelines. Look at how good he is." It's like, come on, he didn't even do anything. If he had a T in front of his name, now we're talking. It's the wrong initial. TJ Watt. TJ Watt is where it's at right now. JJ Watt's the veteran old guy who you hope can,
but you couldn't
turn back
always
into
say that. You couldn't always say that about JJ Watt, though. That wasn't always aggressive. Yeah.
Listen, if I had to listen, I was watching Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart last night because I had nothing to do last night, and I was watching some old WWF. Okay, if JJ Watt was a wrestler, who would JJ Watt be right now?
Right now,
who would JJ Watt be? Old school wrestler.
The $1 Million Man, or like somebody else.
He's either Hulk Hogan or the Ultimate Warrior.
The people's champ.
That's JJ Watt, dude. And I ain't having it. I don't want JJ Watt on the Bills. Look. Alpha male, great. I mean, how many personalities do you need? Like, I can't do it, man. Look, if he wants to come in here on a discount like Anthony was talking about, absolutely. Bring in JJ, baby.
Modern answer there.
Now, Randy Orton and JJ Watt, they're probably on the same level of sexiness, according to the ladies. I mean, then I'm third, so, there's that. But, listen, I ain't having it. So, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing no JJ Watt, so Bills Mafia, kill it. We ain't doing JJ Watt, all right? You heard it from the Hoof first. It's a wrap. So, let's get into this thing, y'all. Super Bowl matchup. All right. Obviously, we talked ad nauseam about this. It's everywhere. We get to see damn Tom Brady and his old ass. Okay. Patrick Mahomes and his young ass.
Right.
Face off for a Super Bowl. Now listen, who y'all want to win? Ashley, we're going to start with you. Champagne Poppy, Eric, Anthony. Let's go.
I hate this question because
do not.
One of my first tweets after we figured out the Super Bowl matchup was, I want the Super Bowl to end in a tie. I really do not want to see anybody win this game. How can you root for Tom Brady? How can you root for the team that just beat us? Like, it's kind of just a lose-lose situation for Bills fans. So
you got to root for one.
I did pick the team, and it's going to be the Bucks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Ashley.
But I don't know. Like,
oh my God!
I think Patrick Mahomes needs to be knocked down a couple pedestals. They're pretty high up, well deserved, I guess, at that. If you can beat us on turf toe and all this other crap, but I don't know.
I'll counterpoint that quick because this is pretty much the opposite for me. I think that at least losing to the Chiefs, if they win it all, you lost to the greatest team in the world again.
That's my other point too.
Right? That's look, they kicked our ass and they won the Super Bowl because they're the best team, and the Bills might have been the second best team, but there's no prize for that in this league. So, if that's the case, the other side of it is no way in hell. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's a high school team. I'm not picking Tom Brady to win anything. I'm sorry. There is no human being on planet Earth who has caused me more sadness and disdain and hate in my heart than Tom mother freaking Brady, okay? So there is no way in hell. I don't care what the matchup says. I can't. No way. No way. I don't see how any Bills fan could say they think the Bucs are going to win or even want the Bucs to win. It's insane.
I don't necessarily want someone, but I had to pick someone.
It's true.
You got to go with somebody. I appreciate you going on the
limb. I can appreciate that if you think like, look, the matchups or whatever, you think the Bucs are going to win, but can't root for them. Cannot.
No.
All right, Champagne, go ahead, dog.
So here I am with this. So we actually talked about this last night too. I've never, of course, been a Brady fan. I was kind of on the same boat with Anthony. I understand, he's been beating our face in for like the last decade. I got it. But at the same time, Tom Brady is magnificent for what he is. I mean, the boy is a hell of a quarterback, undeniably. I mean, he's a ball player. I'm not looking at the fact that I want to see the greatest team that beat us win the Super Bowl. They were great beating us. They're going to be great in the Super Bowl because I don't view it that way personally. And I'm not really sure who, and I don't care who combats me on that Kansas City game, man, because That wasn't Buffalo. I'm not sure what the hell went down in that AFC game, man, but it
kick.
was not the same team that played for the last 10 games. So I don't think Kansas City's the best team in this. I don't think that Kansas City's the best team going into the Super Bowl. I do believe that Tampa Bay should beat them because they're going to exploit all the weaknesses that we didn't exploit. Tyreek and Kelsey, they got off because we let them get off because we had nobody rushing a beat-up quarterback. I think that Tampa's going to be able to get in that background and put some heat on him. And I do believe that it's going to be, Mahomes making the same mistakes he's been making during the season. He hasn't been as crisp as he was last year, this season, the same as Russell Wilson. Like, he's been making some mistakes. And I do believe that they'll be able to exploit those and I'll win that game.
Okay, Eric, go ahead, Doc.
Oh, man. I got to go Chiefs here just because I cannot – I don't want the Bucs to win just because of Tom Brady. I'm that guy. Like, I agree with Anthony on this. It's just the pain that guy's caused me. For him to rub it in one more year, I don't want it. The only way I would root for the Bucs is to have the Bill Belichick meme. The Bill Belichick memes would be golden.
Piss off Pats fans.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think the Bucs being in this game is kind of a fluke because Drew Brees throws a pick six. When has he ever thrown a pick six in a playoff game?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They overcame 3 interceptions in the second half in the championship game. When has that ever happened? I mean, it's more the Packers not capitalizing, in my opinion. I think the Chiefs are the team to beat, and they dominate the league right now. Out with the old and with the new. Give me Kansas City.
Okay. All right. So okay. Do we got a split? We split here. Well, we got Ashley with the Bucs, Will with the Bucs. You got the Chiefs up here. And Anthony, where were you with the Chiefs?
Oh, definitely with the Chiefs. Yeah.
All right. So if I'm the one, if I'm gonna decide for the 5 of us tonight, I'm gonna go with the Bucs.
Get the hell out of here! Come on.
Yes,
There we go,
man.
There we go, man. Yeah.
That's the reason. There's the reason. One, F Bill Belichick. I want another. Hey, I want him to realize that he sucks as a GM. Okay, you may be the greatest coach.
Yeah,
right. But you ain't shit when it comes to being a GM. Okay, because you have the best damn quarterback alive.
Yep.
Now, I would want Tom Brady to beat Patrick Mahomes just to bring his ass down just one notch. I mean, he is like great. Like
exactly.
Like, can I see a blemish in the armor? Is there one right now? I haven't seen it, right? Like, other than him being injured, I don't see a flaw in his game. Like, I need him to suffer a loss here because I know he's going to be in the Super Bowl perennially for the next 10 years, right? He's going to be the next dynasty. That's the next dynasty. Let's be honest here. So I need Tampa to kind of win. Okay, I need Antonio Brown to win a championship and get the hell out of the NFL. Like, get it done, and then I'll see you. But I love Mike Evans. My guy Bruce Arians is the sharpest dressed head coach in the league. Okay, so I need to see my guy get a ring. Okay, so I'm going with Tampa Bay. I like the Chiefs. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate the Chiefs. The only reason why, and I picked the Bucs because Brittany Mahomes be tripping. Like, why can't she just be a happy little wife and just chill out? Why you gotta talk shit? I don't understand why she gotta talk shit. Her and his brother. Like, why y'all gotta do that? Like, I don't understand. Am I salty? Hell yeah, I'm salty.
It's good to be queen.
You don't need to talk shit. You're going to lose this Sunday. So that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, look at the general consensus in the chat, by the way. Here's one from Mike saying, I don't care that much. Haven't really. I'm okay with the Chiefs winning. You know, I'm rooting for neither. The general consensus in the chat tonight is there's a football game this week. I thought football was over because we don't really care. Football is over. We don't care.
If Tom Brady were guaranteed to retire if he won this ring, would you take it?
I'll make a deal with the devil. I will make a deal. Give it to him.
Yes.
No. Let him play until he's 50 and continue to get pounded on the field. My favorite play.
AARP on a walker on the field.
Yes.
Get out of there.
Still, my favorite football play. The best play in football is Tom Brady getting sacked. Every time it happens, I say it. There's no play that makes me happier than Tom Brady getting sacked. It's just amazing. I love it. So if he's 50 and wants to break a hip on the field, I'm good with it. Let's see it.
Okay. All right, so we got our Super Bowl thing kind of sorted out. Look, so you got to pick a side. You can't watch the Super Bowl and just be like, man, I don't care who wins. Like, we got to pick a side. Okay?
I'm pumped for the halftime show. That's what I'm here for.
Hey, it's good. Yeah.
Hey, did y'all know that guy paid like $8 million to assist and like he wants more theatrics? I don't know.
Well, it's probably because they can't have that many people on the field this year.
They could
have to do something special.
Doing the cards and doing the save and like all this crazy.
All they had to do is pay for my airfare and lodging. I would have been down there with the damn flag or whatever he wants to do.
Oh, me too. Trust me. Weekend is like one of my favorite. I listen to him all the time.
I don't even like him that much, though. I don't even be vibing with him. But the Super Bowl, hell yeah, dude. I'll do that all day. I'll do that all day. Okay, so biggest news of the day. That's a big ass jug of water, by the way. Biggest news of the day.
Stay hydrated, friends.
Stay hydrated. Okay. EA Sports. Hey, bringing back NCAA football at a date we do not know. I know it's not going to be this coming fall. We know that, right? But I would guarantee you, with Next Gen working out the kinks and so forth, that we will see EA Sports bringing back NCAA football. It was announced today by the EA account. We have not seen college football in a video game since 2014. This is big news, okay? For nerds like me who like to Mom, where's the meatloaf? I'm playing my games. This is huge. I don't know if y'all are into that. I know Eric plays Madden. I play Madden. I don't know what y'all be doing, but I know Anthony probably breaking down molecules and stuff like that. It's back, folks. And what are y'all's opinions? So, Anthony, we'll start with you because I know you probably don't got nothing to say on it.
Well, I never played NCAA football for any console before. I never played that. I played Madden throughout the years. I own the Madden and I play it, but certainly don't have all the time I'd like to play it, especially now with the newborn. Don't think that's going to happen for a while. But yeah, I mean, this is huge news for the NCAA and for gamers who love this game and people who like things like the draft and seeing what teams are good. There's still a lot of questions around it, like how are they going to include players and can they even copy their talents and then give them a different name? That seems like copyright infringement of some kind to me. You can't just take the quarterback. You can't have, Trevor Lawrence, but call him, Simon Smith, but he looks like and acts like Trevor Lawrence, right? So to me, that would be wrong. They have to definitely make a deal with the NCAA, with the players. Maybe that involves money and paying them. Certainly the colleges shouldn't make all that money if they're selling this for the game, right? They give it to the players. Their names are on there. They're going to be on there. Give it to them. So there's a lot to work out here. It's certainly fun for us, the fans, but we'll see how it works out in the end. Otherwise, they're just going to have to make up players and random. Then it's not as fun to me. It's just a random football game at that point.
So as of right now, they're going to have random generated names. They are going to have the licensing for the teams and the stadiums, right? That's what they got right now.
Yes.
I think that what they're trying to do is figure out how to compensate college players, which is great because
they have to make a deal with the NCAA for that. But that's the thing to me. They said it's going to be random generated players and names, but they're still going to copy the teams that are there, right? Clemson's going to be the best team on the game for a reason, and Alabama's still going to be dominant on there for a reason.
Well, as soon as it comes out, they're going to have a patch of rosters. Somebody's going to create it. I mean, they've always done it with NCAA. It's going to be great. So, Eric, I know you get down on it. What's up?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm just curious because the names were randomly generated back in 2014. So it's going to be a good 30 for 30 to see what's going on behind the scenes here with the legal issues and things like that. But I think this is great. Obviously, people miss – this is where we are as a society in modern times. It's Madden. It's interacting with the teams. I mean, we have more news today about players than we ever have before, and this contributes to that, and I think it's great for where we are. But on the flip side of that is, does it have to be EA? I feel like, are they a monopoly at this point? I mean, can we mix it up a little bit at least? Does it have to be just EA all the time?
No, but I mean, they're the only. I mean, outside of 2K, they're probably the only ones that can pull it off right now. I mean, they got the resources and the years, programming and the engines to kind of pull this off. So, listen, I don't care who freaking does it. I'm just happy. All right, Champagne, what you got on it, dog? What you got on my 40?
Hey. I think the big thing about this whole thing, man, is how they break it down as far as paying players and if they ever really pay the players. Using their likenesses on the field and emotions on the field. I mean, that's infringement. I think that at some point that's overstepping certain things and definitely falsifying, what you're trying to put out there. I mean, it doesn't seem legal on that end of it. At the same time, if you open the can of worms and starting to pay these players, that'll just spiral right down through every sport in college and cause all kind of legal issues. So it's a fine line, man. I'm happy to see it come back. I do believe that it's a phenomenal move by EA, and I do think it'll be great. But I would like to see them not try to cut the corners and not trying to put things to shame. If you can't pay the players directly, figure out a way to pay something, pay their university, maybe create trust funds, maybe put money aside, do something, even if it's not direct checks. But they got to sit down and hash that out. But I don't think the lottery of using fake names and fake players and stuff is really because you know how that is, man. I don't really play that game. I played a ton of Madden. But I do know that if I was playing with the Buffalo Bills or somebody like that and I had all fake names, I wouldn't feel the same about beating somebody's butt with that team, man. I want to play with my players.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Ashley, wrap it up for us, girl.
Honestly, I don't play video games. The only time I've ever played Madden, I think, is when I was babysitting in November. But
nice.
I definitely, I graduated from Brockport with part of my degree was in sports management. So that was such a huge conundrum, even when I graduated in 2014, about paying the players, what we should do, how we should go about that. Not just give them a free copy of the game. Oh, no.
That's good.
I don't think they would take that. But I definitely think they do deserve, they work just as hard as these, athletes trying to get to a higher level in the NFL. They're trying to get there. So they're putting in twice the work just so they can get their name out there. So I think this would really help a lot of them. And the fans of the teams are going to want to buy it to play it. So you're going to have the money to pay them.
Yeah. In the end, it all comes down to the money. And for the NCAA, that's who's getting the money, right? And they know it's.
So as we move forward here, guys. All right. So we are now in the inside slant. Things that kind of happen in the league. It could be Bills related. We're going to talk about some Bills related stuff as we continue on. But this is the inside slant. So check it out. Here we go. So first thing, Matthew Stafford trade. Okay, Matthew Stafford was traded for 2 first-round picks and a third-round pick.
Nuts.
Okay?
Wow.
Yeah. Apparently, the LA Rams say first-round draft picks ain't shit. I guess they hate him.
Yeah.
All right. So they shipped old Jared Goff out. And Jared Goff has some interesting things to say about his former head coach, about his girlfriend. Since Ashton's on the show, we're not going to mention those things. But if you want to go to TMZ and check it, what he said, it's kind of funny. But anyway, listen here. What do you guys think about that? Is that too much? Is that too much? I mean, the Lions are getting a haul, so they already have their own first round pick. They get another first round pick this year and one next year and a third round pick. So what is it? Is that too much? Like, what are you guys' thoughts on that? So, Ashley, we'll start with you. Eric, Anthony, and we'll end with Will.
So I thought that trade, when I first saw it, it was absolutely wild. I could not believe what they got in return. It shows you that the Rams are all in. They're ready to win. They want this Super Bowl as bad, and they don't want to waste the best years of Aaron Donald's career. So that's kind of what I'm seeing with that whole trade. It was said that, the other team they wanted Jared Goff. Detroit wanted Jared Goff, period. So they got him. They got their guy. They got a good exchange. I think they won the trade, but we'll see. I mean, Matthew Stafford's had a hard time being successful ever since Megatron left. So it's like, maybe he's finally going to have those weapons around him to be successful because he hasn't been able to for all these years. But in moving forward with the Deshaun Watson, I think he's going to cost an arm and a leg for whatever team wants to go get him. And I forget what 2 teams it was said. There was Miami and somebody else that he said were like the only teams that he really wanted to go to. And because of his no trade clause, he gets to pick if he gets traded where he goes.
Well, just to throw in there about Deshaun Watson, it just came out before we stepped on the show tonight that Derek Carr is a quarterback that's heavily coveted. They could trade Deshaun Watson to the Raiders. Okay, and then Derek Carr could potentially go to Houston Texans. So he could go get creamed like his brother got creamed. It'd be great. It'd be a family reunion of all sorts.
I mean, and you know what? That keeps him out of the AFC, so I'm happy.
Yeah. Hey, I would love that trade. Send this, but before we get to the Deshaun Watson, let's talk about this. No, you're good. You're good. Let's talk about this Jared Goff thing. All right, and the cost. What are you guys' thoughts on? I love what you had to say, Ashley. Go ahead, Eric.
For the Rams, it's not for long league, right? So I kind of like the urgency of living in the moment. Like, look, Goff's not good enough for that team to win a Super Bowl. I think that's been showcased this past year. I think maybe some of Sean McVay's concepts have been exploited, and maybe that came out a little bit. So they needed a change, and I think the biggest change they need on offense anyway was definitely the quarterback position. So you have to go all in, and that's what it takes to get a solid quarterback in this league. And they did. They went absolutely all in and then found the right opportunity. There was other teams in on it. Carolina was in on it. And how do you beat those teams? Well, you give them everything you got, right? And there was some cash deals as well that we were all aware of. But, as far as are the Rams a contender, I think so. I think they are. They don't need Matt Stafford to do a ton, but he's definitely a better arm talent and a better quarterback mentally than Jared Goff.
Certainly.
And I think you start there. And what does it cost to get a better quarterback? Well, it's a hell of a lot, especially when you're already a playoff team. You don't have an opportunity to get up and draft and get one of these quarterbacks year in, year out. It just doesn't happen for good teams. So you got to find other ways. And kudos to the Rams for finding a way.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on before you go there. Brooke, thank you. This is the first time I've seen you in here, so thank you for supporting. It says She says Rams wanted Goff gone, point blank, period. And I think she's right. Yeah. And to the Rams point, look, you can see McVay's frustration in the games, even with Jared Goff, because he's extremely limited. That offense is a great design, and I don't think they have the guy to make it happen. Now, Matthew Stafford's going to bring a lot to the table. I mean, not only can the guy throw it at any angle, but he's a little bit more mobile. I mean, he's not going to have great rushing yards or anything like that, but he's more mobile than Goff. I think he has more zip on that ball, and I think he's probably a better leader. He's 32 years old, so you're getting like a youngish quarterback in his prime, right? You got at least 4 or 5 years with him. But one of the things that people fail to realize is that the Rams are excellent at mid to late round picks. So they found their niche, right? So they know Les Snead and those guys know, okay, we are really good in rounds 3 to 7. And you look at their roster, and they've really done a great job at filling gaps and really good talent in those rounds. So the fact that they were able to, again, we don't like first round draft picks. I'd rather have a short talent. Mm-hmm. Okay, and we'll talk about more of the short talent idea later. But go ahead, Anthony. What you got?
You're hitting a lot of the points that I was going to bring up about this Rams team. If on paper, if you just said Matthew Stafford was traded for 2 first-round picks, a 3rd-round pick, and a starting quarterback, you'd faint. You'd be like, "What the hell for Matthew Stafford? The guy's only under contract for 2 years, and he's certainly not in his prime or blowing the world away." But there's another side of this, and that is Jared Goff and his contract. It was, as Brooks said in the Super Chat, it was known widely that Goff was gone in L.A. at the Rams. They were done with him. He was literally benched for the backup in a playoff game. Right. And then the guy got hurt, and they had to put Goff in, and they're like, "Oh, here we go," and they lose that game ultimately. So I mean, it's a deal where the situation at hand made it a fair deal. Here, you take our quarterback that we don't want, that everybody knows we don't want, that is woefully overpaid in this contract that we made a terrible mistake on. So we made this terrible mistake of doing this extension, and we're still a good team. We believe in our roster. We have one of the league's best defenses, hands down. We have a lot of playmakers on offense. We need to improve here. We'll take Stafford. You take our first-round picks. As you said, Sterling, they're not as valuable to them because they want to win now. They only have Stafford for 2 years. That's your window now. And you don't have first-round picks in those 2 years. So they're really saying, all right, we got 2 years exactly to figure this out and make that next step and be able to get to the Super Bowl. And we'll see if they can do it. But certainly the price was high for what you had to give up. So it works out. To me, it works out for both teams. I don't believe in Goff. I don't believe in Goff is the guy for the Lions necessarily. I think they just took the picks and the contract to eat it.
And to John DeMarchi's point, the Rams have done and that's why they feel like that they can make a flex move like this because they draft well in the mid rounds, mid to late rounds. So, Will, Champagne, baby, what you got, bud?
Hey, man, I don't think that Goff's the answer for Detroit at all. I think that just was a contractual type of a deal where he just came with a package. As far as his time with the Rams, he's been done, man. I've been watching him squirm out there for the longest, and I have a couple friends that play on that squad, and the frustration runs high when they doing their thing out there. They get open and can't get the ball. He's been making a lot of big mistakes. He's making too much money to make those kind of mistakes. They've been regretting that contract they gave him for a long time. It was definitely time for him to go. And honestly, that writing's been on the wall before this season even came about. I mean, they just knew that no matter what, at the end of this season, that was going to be it. And the reality is, he's not, when you just look at it, he's not that guy. He's that guy that'll get you maybe to a playoff or late rounds, but he's definitely not that kind of QB that's going to put you over the top. And I know that the Rams, with the talent that they have, are ready to get to that next step, and they can't do it if they had Goff at the helm.
Yeah, I admire what the Rams are doing. I think it's cool, man. I love the fact that they are just going for it. They don't care. They just look. They got Jalen Ramsey. I mean, they've made trades. That Brandon Cooks was one of those guys. I mean, they don't care. Whatever it takes to win, to get to that next level. And look, they made a Super Bowl appearance. That's more than what we can say as Bills fans. They made it to the Super Bowl and lost to Brady, obviously. Right. But they made it. They got their opportunity. And how many of us would be like, you know what? I'd give up a lot if I had the opportunity to play in a Super Bowl.
But you're risking everything here. This is bold, certainly. But you don't win in 2 years. You don't literally make it to the Super Bowl in these next 2 years. You're fired. You're fired. The organization is a shit show. Everything falls apart. It's done. You start over completely, and you have nothing to go on. You got no draft picks. You got no quarterback. All your guys are becoming free agents at that point. So it's certainly bold, and they're going all in. But if it doesn't work out, it's everybody's job in that organization.
Yeah. Hey, go big or go home. That's the model he lives by.
So risk it for the biscuit.
But you said, you'd risk that. I would not. I'd much rather have the consistency of McDermott and Bean, where you're building every year, where you're drafting, you're bringing in the free agents you need to consistently be a team that's competing. Then go all in and hope it works out, because if it doesn't, you're screwed and you're back at zero.
Exactly.
Another team that lived by that motto is the New England Patriots. And they got rings now. I know they have Brady. That does help. But they did, get some pieces that definitely helped them get a chip. So I don't think there's a wrong answer there. I think, going big is okay. And there's a risk. And going the methodical, build through the draft and get, low-key free agents, that's another way to do it too. It just depends, man. I don't think there's a wrong answer there. But it's definitely interesting for discussion purposes, for sure. So Deshaun Watson, what in the hell are the Texans doing right now?
Wow.
Like, can anybody have a brilliant idea what the Texans are doing? Because
why? That coaching hire. What? What?
I have an inside scoop. So there is actually at our gym a scout for the Houston Texans. He works out at the gym I work at. Oh. And I heard, Leslie Frazier turned down the job.
Oh.
What?
Yeah. I heard he turned it down to stay in Buffalo. So that made me feel good about the future of us. But basically, I don't know.
So much of a shit show. He said no thank you to a head coaching job. Wow. He really must have been. The rumors, I mean, we all have heard the rumors.
It's a rumor to me that he said it, but I feel like he would have a better knowledge than, anybody else. But he said it was, I think he turned it down. I don't know if they offered it to Eric Balmini, but it's crazy. When I heard that, I said, "You're kidding, right?" And he goes, "No, I'm pretty sure he wanted to stay in Buffalo."
Would you want to coach the Houston Texans?
No, not at all.
Then what? You would think that Eric Bieniemy was the other name there. He must have said no, thank you too, because I mean, you're talking about in the real world, you're talking about two black men who were going to a city and a situation that is wrought with issues of race and issues of leadership and issues of players on the field. I mean, it is a shit show for any coach who wanted the job, but the fact that it's two black men who are prime time coaching candidates in this league, and then they got passed up for somebody who nobody was talking about getting this job. I mean, it definitely has some writing on the wall of somebody had to say, you know what, you can't pay me enough to take that job.
Yeah, you're just going in a bad situation. I mean, you got Deshaun Watson trying to leave, JJ Watt's out of there. Like, who's left? And
that's a lot on the shoulders of, being somebody to have to turn that organization around and fix the image. They're doing that in Washington, but they have a veteran guy who's really putting his effort into it to get that done. But
so
Texans
Eric,
are a mess.
On that? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, Houston's interesting because they've had success. They're not like the Jets who haven't been good in 20 years, or they're not like Miami who hasn't won a division since 2008. The Texans have double the division titles than the Titans and the Jags. I mean, they've been in the playoffs 6 times in the last
right.
Yes. What year did they come in the league? 2004, something like that. I mean, this team has been there. Deshaun Watson's played in 3 playoff games since he's been drafted in 2017. So I mean, this isn't like the Jets, where they're not successful. They don't care about being successful. The team's not willing to spend. I just kind of think they're going through, a rough patch right now, and a lot of that was given, their coach GM powers, and he made some bad choices, and it's a setback, no doubt. But in my opinion, for Deshaun Watson to say he wants out of there, careful what you wish for sometimes.
Yeah,
because they have had success, and there's not very many teams that have success that matches the Texans in the last few years.
And I will say this. I mean, Houston, the one thing they do have going for them is they're going to get a buttload of draft picks for Deshaun Watson. Yeah. I said a few weeks ago on the show, and I'm sticking to it. If I'm the Texans, I start at six first-round draft picks. That's the price I'm putting out there. You want him? How many years do you think he's going to be a good quarterback for you? Because right now, he's one of the top 5 players in the NFL at the position. He's without a doubt. So he's going to be your quarterback theoretically for the next 10 years if you're drafting him or if you're trading for him. 6, we just talked about the Rams being able to give up first-round picks. 6 first-round draft picks is not a stretch at this point, and that's probably my starting point if I'm Houston, and then say, okay, can you counter that with something that intrigues me to come off that starting price? But, yeah, they're going to have a lot of picks. They're going to be able to rebuild a lot of what we see with the Miami Dolphins now with their bevy of picks, right, and what you can do to turn a place around.
So I'm going to let Champagne Poppy down there answer Brooke's statement. Thank you, Brooke, again. She says, if he stays, meaning Deshaun Watson, he'll be miserable. If he holds out, he loses money, and Houston gets the leverage. It's a bad situation for him. I think she's right. I mean, I think, Will, I need you to – I mean, you're a savvy businessman, Will. What are your thoughts on what Brooke has to say about Deshaun Watson's situation in Houston?
Uh-oh.
You there? All right, we'll wait for Will to get there. All right. But I guess I'll go. Anybody else? I'll answer it if he can't. So, yeah, I think he's already miserable. He's expressed he's not okay with the direction that the franchise going in. And what's funny is the sad thing is that you have an owner who, I mean, just perception. I have no inside sources, right? Who really doesn't care about his players. Like he's very. How do I say this without ruffling any feathers? He's very to his own opinion. He's very old school in some ways. Okay, and that's not just me having my own opinion. That is the national perception of their owner. Like he's not very appeasing to the players, right? So you have your franchise quarterback, and Anthony, you mentioned it, African-American male who's very prominent in his community and what he stands for. I think he's the front door to your franchise. And it's not just about race or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but race of sports, it does matter. Whether you like it or not, it does come into play. And I think if you're in a position where you own one of these teams, I think you have to adhere to that. And so yeah, Deshaun Watson wants out. He's made enough money so far in his career that he doesn't have to go to OTAs. He'll lose money, but just think about he's so young. Think about how much money he's going to gain in the future. I wouldn't want to put myself. Yeah. We work because we have to. We're normal people, right? But that man don't have to work. He's got it. You know what I'm saying? So I'd sit out. Trade me. I don't want to be nowhere near Houston. He don't want nothing to do with it. So I get the hell out of there.
Where's he going to go, though, is my thing. Like, the only teams that can afford him after the effort trade are teams at the top of the draft. The Jets, the Dolphins, Yeah, those franchises don't have, like, long-term plans or anything like that.
But what about like the 49ers, a team you brought up previously on the show? I think they right now would be the best fit for him in terms of a team that can win right now and has weapons right now. And
there's no way for them to get him. There's no way.
Give up those picks. Why not? 6 first-round picks. Do it. Yeah. It's Deshaun Watson. You're talking about a guy who is going to be your difference maker for the next, you're guaranteed a franchise quarterback. He is a franchise quarterback. Yeah, everybody wants to draft every other year a first-round quarterback to try and figure it out and flip that coin and get lucky. No, I'd give up 6 first-round picks right now if I'm San Francisco, because you're all in now. Again, similar to what we were saying with the Rams, right? If they trade for Deshaun Watson, the 49ers, I'm saying, they're saying we're ready to go to a Super Bowl now. We want to win it now. Screw waiting for it. This team is good right now. We don't need to draft players. We know what we're doing. We're confident in our ability, and Deshaun Watson is that difference maker we need.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are other teams that don't have to give up 6 first-round picks. I mean, we don't know what the baseline is for them. We just assume. But like the Raiders, you can send Derek Carr like they. I mean, and I didn't even think of this. This is what apparently is happening in league circles. They're saying, look, we'll give you Derek Carr, give us Deshaun Watson, probably throw you a couple first-round picks, 2/3, and we'll call it good. You know what I'm saying? It's possible. I mean, it's the NFL. Anything. I mean, as we know,
right,
we never saw. Yeah, right. Actually, we never saw Matthew Stafford being traded to the Rams. Like we just thought Matthew Stafford was gonna die like the rest of them. Barry Sanders, Megatron, like they gonna screw you over, dog. So you've been here for 12 years, bro. Like it's a wrap. So
I mean, and you never know. The Raiders could trade them another player as well. It could be more similar to like a hockey trade when you send multiple players for someone else. Like you never know.
Yeah, again, that's the starting point. You throw in a quarterback who's ready to start, like Carr could start for them, and maybe that takes off 1 or 2 first-round picks, and you throw in a third or something. So 4 firsts and a third and Carr. That's, to me, that's the starting value for him. We'll see what they can swing, but it's going to be a big get for them.
Anything can happen in the NFL. I agree with that 100%. But if I'm the Texans GM, ain't no way I'm trading Jimmy G for Deshaun Watson. No way.
No.
Even Derek Carr's pushing it. I mean, I need your whole draft. I need your whole draft for 2 years.
Yeah, you need the Ricky Williams experiment.
Yeah, all 7. What's interesting, just talking about quarterbacks in general, I think it was Adam Schefter this week said that his prediction is 18 plus starting quarterback changes in the NFL.
Wow.
There's 32 teams in the NFL. That's like 2/3 of the NFL changing their starting quarterback next year. That's insane to think about. But
I mean,
that's
we
a
have
possibility.
come to, at the end of an era. You got Brady on his way out, Rodgers maybe 3 or 4 more years. Drew Brees is looking like he's done. Phillip Rivers retired. Eli. I mean, it's in with the new, out with the old, and that's just what we're looking at.
Yeah, you're gonna have to take your medicine at some point in this building process when it comes to roster building. You're just gonna have to. And speaking of that, as we segue into the next topic, we got about 10-15 minutes left on the show tonight. Free agent dream acquisition will start there. If you guys have any free agents that you're looking for, we're talking about the Bills perspective and your draft crush. Okay, so we'll start with the dream free agent acquisitions. Eric, Ashley, Anthony. Who is that one guy that you want the Bills to pick up as a free agent? Who do you have in mind?
Oh, one guy. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Because I'm high on guard this offseason. And
okay.
I mean, only the true experts know guards off the top of their head. So
I mean, you got Brandon Scherf. Yeah. I think he's solid guard.
Just for crush sake, right? Our dream, Von Miller.
All right. I like it.
I like that.
That could be fun.
If it's for the right price, it's similar to the J.J. Watt conversation. For the right price.
Right? We can dream, right? Yeah. So
if he's at the end of his career, he could be a guy who comes in.
We need that edge player, right? The guy in the end.
That's a big,
I mean, both those guys have played in 3 or 4 defenses the last few years, but I mean, talent-wise, those 2 guys can come in and make an impact. Melvin Ingram's another guy is available. Just someone to kind of fill that Lonzo Alexander role. I think that would help. You can play on the line or maybe drop back once in a while and an attacking 4-3 that McDermott runs. I mean, that would be helpful.
Yeah, you bring up offensive linemen, and Brandon Bean in their closing comments, they mentioned that they really like Cody Ford. They think he's one of their best 5. Yeah. He said, okay, so I think we might see a situation where Bakker is. They like Ike Bakker too, but he could be the starting right guard. They could let John Feliciano go. Right. They could go in a myriad of directions here. I think there's guys like Joe Tooney, who's a guard from the Patriots that's available. He's a solid, great guard. I think you have a couple tackles. You got Taylor Moulton and you got Trent Williams as tackles. I mean, even if you have to let go of Darrell Williams, you want a better option there. I mean, I think the Bills need to build from free agency. I think they need to build the trenches in free agency. But we'll get into that here in a minute. Ashley. All right. You have a free agent acquisition that you're like, I need the Bills to go get this person.
I want Richard Sherman. I love that guy. I don't even know why. Wow. But I'll tell you what, to have him starting opposite Trey White, that would be incredible. You have Levi Wallace on his restricted free agent this year. EJ Gaines already got cut. I mean, there's not too much insurance behind that. So I think you definitely need to plug and play a player that's ready to start. And Sherman's ready to come onto a contender and win a ring. So that's
in a limited capacity, again, for a cheap contract in a limited capacity, sure. But we saw him get burned firsthand this season. So, I'm not sure where Sherman is at this point in his career. But those veteran guys are kind of, plug a hole type players. If you can get them cheap enough, sure. For me,
that's the only thing that makes me nervous is the fact that this cap is going down and they're going to have to make some hard decisions. Even Brandon Bean said, we would have structured some things differently if we knew that this was going to happen. Yeah. Because now you got, Isaiah McKenzie, Andre Roberts, you got Matt Milano. Like, you got to make some tough decisions with the guys you have, and they want to keep the guys that they have because they trust in those guys. You can trust in all 3 of them. Yeah. It's just the problem is, where's that money going to come from, and how are you still going to build these few pieces that you need to make this team a Super Bowl contender?
Okay. And that's, you hit on one of the guys who I cannot believe I'm saying this. I've been a stan of Matt Milano for 2 years plus, arguing with Sterling over here about trying to extend him 2 years ago when we should have. But,
go ahead. Let me hear
when Milano plays, the defense is good. When Milano isn't there, the defense is bad. And right now, I feel like my dream free agent acquisition is Matt Milano, because right now I feel like it is exactly that, a dream. I do not think the Bills are going to make it a priority to re-sign him. It's been reported that he is going to ask for the max that he can get, which I don't think the Bills are going to give him because of all the needs we have. And that's going to leave a big hole at linebacker for this team, whether that means bringing in somebody like Von Miller, although that's not really the position Von Miller plays. He's more of a rusher than a coverage type guy. So we'll see. But Matt Milano is the dream for me. We need offensive linemen. So any offensive lineman at this point, we know that's going to happen. That's the guarantee.
Anthony, hold on. So Matt Milano ain't going to be a Buffalo Bill next year?
Yo, I'm sad about that too. I love Matt Milano.
I told your ass, trade him when you can. He's
Never should have traded him. No.
But the only reason that I don't think he's coming back is because he's so injury prone, and that happened again this year. We saw it halfway through the season, and we saw it, we had those 2 games in a row where we lost. And who are we missing?
No. Linebacker is not a stat that we want to attribute to winning, okay?
In Sean McDermott's defense, what's the most important position? Linebacker. Period. Yes.
You traded up for Tremaine Edmonds.
Listen, if he's cracked out Lawrence Taylor, then you got a point. Okay. But he ain't that. Okay. My guy is not that. He's a great addition. Give me Tremaine. Term. Tremaine Edmonds is your first.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Linebacker. The guy opposite him. Just because I would rather have the salary of a Josh Allen on my team than having to pay Matt Milano, where you got him in the 5th round. I'm not saying he's just easily replaceable by any means, but we have to think about the roster construction of this team moving forward a little bit differently. And I know as Bills fans, we hate to say goodbye to people. But we have to start saying goodbye to people.
Exactly. So that's going to happen at those 2 positions. No matter who you want, you can want a tight end or whatever. And I think we're going to talk draft in a second here. But the 2 positions that matter most on this team right now are offensive line and that linebacker position, because those are going to be our 2 biggest holes in free agency here. So whether they sign somebody or draft somebody or whatever, those 2 positions are going to be number one for the Bills to figure out and fill. And those are going to be the two biggest concerns going into next season. The two biggest question marks. Will the acquisitions we made work? Will they not? Will this person who fills the linebacker fill Milano's role? If we lose Darrell Williams too, will they be able to continue to pace together an offensive line by getting injury-prone, underpaid guys who end up having good seasons? Who knows? But yeah, those are the two biggest question marks by far for the Buffalo Bills.
All right, so my free agency dream acquisition, okay? Give me Hunter Henry from the Chargers.
I thought about that.
Yes.
But see, the problem, you say these names and just all I see is dollar signs, right? You brought up a couple of us.
I know.
Tooney, that's going to be.
I'm not saying you can have both of them. I'm just saying, like, these are guys that are available. And and we're talking about dreams, right? We all have dreams, baby. We all have dreams. But I would love for the Bills to get a real tight end.
Josh Allen throwing to Hunter Henry? Yes, please.
You have a legitimate tight end threat, right? We need more dimensions to our offense, not just from the wide receiver position, right? But we need a tight end that, I mean, Brandon Beat even said it, like the tight ends need the tight ends in the room need to do a better job. Croft is gone.
Yes.
Dawson Knox is coming into year 3. He's going to need to step up big time. And we just, right, Ashley, like you're even making the face like we don't know. It's
sometimes it's
but they're confident. They like him.
You don't know what you're going to get from him. And I get it. Like he didn't have a heavy workload in college, but like you said, you're going into your, third year in the NFL. If you didn't adjust the first 2 years, you definitely should be there by now.
Yeah, we're going to, unless he makes a meteoric rise, right? Like Josh Allen did. He's one of the most athletic tight ends in the league, probably top 5 from athleticism standpoint, but we need more from him. So having a guy like Hunter Henry, somebody brings up, well, Henry is an injury bug. Yeah, there's a lot of guys in the NFL that have injury risk, Matt Milano being one of them, our right tackle, Darrell Williams being one of them, Felici. I mean, we can go, list goes on, but if you have those two guys together, it creates matchup problems, right?
Yes.
So I think that's my free agent acquisition. Now, I could go defensive line, but for the sake of tonight's show, I went with the tight end. Okay, so we're closing, okay? So, draft crush. Who is your draft crush? All right. Eric will start with you. Anthony will go with you next. And Ashley will go with you at the end there. Your draft crush. Who would you like the Bills to select? It doesn't have to be in the first round, but someone that you say, like, I want the Bills to get this person.
Well, assuming we stay at 30.
Okay.
I don't want to be boring, but I think Wyatt Davis, guard out of Ohio State, somewhere around 30, right? Creed Humphreys in that conversation. I just think you need an impact guard. And this really begs the question, how do you develop a running game? Some GMs, I think, will say offensive line, running backs follow. Other GMs, Bill Polian has said this in the past, the running back makes the offensive line. And so this is something we'll probably debate the next few weeks, but I like to think the guard develops the running game. I look at teams like the Colts. They focused on Quentin Nelson, who's a stud, and that running game has taken off in the past few years. So I would like to see them take an impact guard, and it looks like it's kind of panning out for the Bills. Like there's going to be some guards available who I think are starting caliber at 30. So I would go Wyatt Davis out of Ohio State. I like Creed Humphrey. A little concerned he's left-handed. Some people don't like that, but I don't think you need him to play center. So I got to look at that some more, but those are the two names that stick out for me.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
I like it. Again, it's a position of need. It's not sexy, but it's a position of need, Eric. And I think you're right that if they go offensive lineman, nobody would be surprised. It's a position we need, and guard is certainly the emptiest right now on our roster in terms of who's coming up for free agency. And yeah, you mentioned, Eric, we're not talking about trades right now, but we've talked off air that my dream scenario is for the Bills to get 3 second-round draft picks in this draft. So trade out of the first round, get back up, get the guys you want in that second round, because some of these guys at the bottom are still going to be there by just number-wise. There's not enough picks in the first round for everybody to go. So you can rack up some second-round picks. But right now, again, I preached about Matt Milano, how much I love Matt Milano, and the fact that he is most likely now more likely to be gone than stay in Buffalo. So you have to pick a linebacker with that first pick for me. And the guy that I've seen and looked at so far in my minimal draft work so far is the linebacker from Notre Dame, Jeremiah Osuwu. What's his Karamoa? Is that how you pronounce it?
Wow.
Yeah. So he's a top linebacker in this draft. I think he could come in and play for Buffalo. A guy I go to for my draft knowledge, Joe Marino, has us drafting him in the first round as well, has the Bills drafting him. So, if it's good enough for Joe Marino, I think it's good enough for me. And like I said, I kind of am on the same page that linebacker is going to be the biggest position to need if we lose Milano.
Okay. Ashley?
All right. Well, I definitely see your guys' point, but I want to go with a sexy pick, and I want to go with a running back. I want to go Najee Harris at 30.
Oh boy!
I want to take a downhill runner. We need someone that is gonna take a little bit of that pressure off of Josh Allen to run the ball and actually get through the line, because Devin Singletary was just having so many issues this year, and I just feel like I cannot trust him. I can't trust him. Zach Moss is more of your third down back where you got to get the 3 or 4 yards. It's just going to plow right through. But I want someone that's going to make an impact on this offense and take a little off the receivers too, because it was all on the receivers this year. They had all the pressure on them to catch the ball. So let's take a little off of them. Let's fix this offensive line in the free agency, and let's get Najee Harris so we can take it to the next level. And if you remember, the Chiefs took Clyde Edwards-Helaire with
at the end of the first round
last year, right after they lost the AFC Championship.
So that's funny that you mentioned that. And just so you guys know, I will be on WGR tomorrow morning talking about this exact same point, because and I'll tell you who my draft crush is, but you guys have known, right? Devin Singletary, I'm a big fan of. But I've been saying early in the season, the Bills gotta go big. They need a legitimate guy in the backfield, and they don't have that. When you draft a running back in the third round, you're expecting them to be a spot starter, right? They're not supposed to come in and have a massive impact. Now, the ceiling you want, any player you draft, you want them to excel and be the best version of themselves that they can be, or reach their fullest potential. But in taking those third round backs, I'd rather take a sure thing. So I love the fact, Ashley, that you mentioned running back there, because I really do think that that's a real legitimate need. Very John Madden, but you got to score more points than the Chiefs. And until you do that, I don't want to hear it. The Bills have been great at building defense for years. That defense ain't got a shit, right?
Nope.
They don't get us playoff wins. It's a passing league. It's an offensive league. It's a speed league. Yeah. And that brings me to my draft crush, Kadarius Toney. Now, last year, I was all about Henry Ruggs. Okay, I'm a speed guy. I just love it. Kadarius Toney, y'all already know. Listen, he tore up the Senior Bowl in practices. Okay, this guy, I'm telling you, he is lightning in a bottle. He is a Tyreek Hill light, if you will. But he is a guy, and guess what? He has return capabilities too, so you don't have to have Andre Roberts. I know my guy Jay Spencer King is going to hate that, but
hate that.
Kadarius Toney, anytime you put the ball in that man's hands, it's to the house. And look, he can run. Look, if you can't catch the damn guy, how you going to defend him? You got Stephon Diggs, who's pretty damn good. Last time I checked, John Brown is serviceable. Cole Beasley is one of the top 5 slot receivers in the league. You put Kadarius Toney back there, right? You don't need Isaiah McKenzie. You don't. Gabe Davis is in another year.
He sounds a lot like Isaiah McKenzie. It's kind of weird.
Yes.
Yeah. He's Isaiah McKenzie, but a real receiver. He's not just a gadget guy.
Sweet game.
Hold on. And Eric, do you remember last year when I told you about that kid from Florida, Kadarius Toney, before he got all the hype?
Really?
Yeah, ask Eric about it. I told Eric about, hey, watch out for this kid because he's badass. But anyway, not to toot my own horn and shit. But Kadarius Toney is that guy. You need a guy on your offense that is a threat to take us to the house at any moment.
But the question is, where is he being mocked right now? Because he could go
it's
first round.
As of right now, they're saying, in the scouting community, or however you want to put it, he's mid to late first round.
Okay. So we could get him there. That's within the Bills' range if it happens. You always know some of these guys are going to end up going top 10 that nobody expected. But, it's all about who the teams fall in love with. And that's really the question. Same thing with the running back question. 2 weeks ago, when Sterling brought that up, I said he was crazy for saying that the Bills would pick a running back. Hell no, we don't need. But right now, I am 100% on board now. Like, hey, if it's a playmaker, if it's the guy who's going to make the difference for this offense, get him. And then you end up trading one of your running backs, probably Singletary over Moss at this point, and get that second or third round pick, and then get that leverage to trade up again, whatever you get for him. So
I got beef with this comment here. I got a beef with this comment here. And Steve Rose, thank you for watching the show, by the way, but I heavily disagree with your comment here. He says Bills are not expending a first-round pick and a first-round money on a RBA, especially with Bean saying he thought it was more of a blocking issue. I don't really care what Brandon Bean says right now. The fact of the matter is there's something called context. The Bills spend way too much assets on defense. That didn't get us anywhere, man. Look, we've never been in this position. I disagree
with you there. But.
No, it didn't. Why? Because we had one of the top offenses in the league. The defense came along late. And we still had issues.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We were talking about that in the middle of the season.
We still had issues.
Defense was way in the basement.
They did win the Colts game.
That's the idea. Okay, a game.
The Ravens.
The offense carried the fucking team all year. All I'm saying is we have to change the way we think about things. Just because they've done it so many years, that doesn't mean that's how they're going to continue. We've never seen a Bills team outside of the 90s. We've never seen a Bills team in this position. So that doesn't – you have to think of it differently. Like, you have to take – listen, let's say you don't draft for production. You draft for traits. Like, you need guys, if you're going to first-round pick, no matter what position it is, you need elite traits, not because you're just drafting for need, right? That's what free agency is for. You can get guys because you need. But in the draft, you need to get guys with traits. And I think the biggest trait, just like last year, Bills came in and said we didn't score enough points. Well, we didn't score enough points this year, and when we needed it, and we lack speed. We lack speed on both sides of the ball, but more importantly on offense in key positions. So I don't care what people say. Y'all can disagree with me, but please, if you do, come with some facts, because I've been doing so much research on this, and I'm not saying I disagree with everybody and Joe Marino because he says drafted a linebacker. Like, why? Why do I need 2 first-round linebackers? I don't.
Yeah. You do. You're a linebacker-led defense. You're a defensive coach.
This is a secondary-led defense.
Without a doubt.
You still have one you have to pay coming up.
Without a doubt. Yeah, so it's good to draft one, definitely. Without a doubt. It's better to draft one. I think it's without a doubt the biggest question mark on this team. If Milano leaves, you got to fill linebacker, number one. Whether that's in the first round, the second round, Milano was a 5th round. So it's all about trusting their scouting and saying this is the guy who can do what we need him to do, which for Milano, they might say, we need a coverage linebacker guy. Screw rushing the passer. We're not going to do that with this guy. We need him to be a coverage guy. So who's the best coverage guy? If he's in the 5th round, that's where we're going to get him. We'll get him in the 4th instead because he's a 5th round talent, whatever. So, I mean, I don't see that happening. I think they will spend a higher draft pick if that's what it comes down to in this draft on a linebacker. So we'll see.
But and here's the point. He says, what's the point of getting a running back if your line can't run block? Well, we haven't seen what they're going to do in free agency yet.
Yeah, we don't know who the guards are going to be. Right. And I was surprised in his press conference, in his end of the year press conference, Sean McDermott did slip a little and say, we got to run the ball better. You know, when called out, he dodges everything, but he said, we have to run the ball better.
And let's not forget,
what does that mean?
Now, Sal Capaccio brought up this point.
Okay.
And I kind of forgot about it. It's someone we all forgot about. Christian Wade.
Oh, yeah, he's still on the team. But, I mean, what difference can he make? We don't know. He's a complete unknown.
Because remember how good he was. He's a rugby player. He's used to catching the ball up high. He's used to running it downfield. He's used to breaking tackles. That is his home sport.
Maybe.
Like, it makes too much sense. I'd love to see what he can do. I don't know if he's like starter caliber after 2 years of still on the practice.
He's no longer.
Let me ask you
learn what holding was.
Yeah.
This dude doesn't know what football is.
He's no longer eligible, though.
No chance, in my opinion.
The interesting thing about Wade is you've invested 2 years of him on your practice squad as a international signing, so he was an exemption on the practice squad. He can't do that this year. You're only allowed to do that 2 years. So he's either on your squad or he's not at this point. And so we'll see what they're thinking with him. You've invested that time. You've kept him along. So they have to have some plan for him, you'd think. Maybe this is their plan all along. So
why would you go and flirt with Le'Veon Bell and
well, that was a 1 year, fill the situation.
That was just a win now.
If they were high on Christian Wade, I don't think they would have brought him up in the practice squad. I just don't think he has a future on the Bills.
Can't. As an international, he couldn't be called.
I just think that it's Christian Wade, and I love the guy for what he stands for and his effort and so forth. But he ain't got it. And
British accent.
I don't want to go into next year with just Devin Singletary, your boy Zach Moss, and Christian Wade as my running backs. I just can't. I can't do it. I can't do it. But anyways, we're gonna wrap it up here, folks. We got so much more content for you guys coming forward. We've been doing a ton of studying and all of our draft stuff and all of our free agent stuff. Not just for on the Hoof Live, but through Cover One. I mean, this is like the best part of the season for us. The actual season writes itself, but there is a narrative and a story that gets to be developed by you guys, by us. Here in this offseason, and it's fun to speculate. We want your opinions, like even though I think they're crazy sometimes, and you might think my shit's crazy because I know it's crazy, but this is the place to get it out. Yes. So we got so much lined up for you guys, a lot of guests, and we thank our guest tonight, Ashley, for joining us. She will be a regular coming back all the time.
Will tried to reconnect.
Some water on his router. That's why he couldn't come back. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. He texted me. He's like, this is a disaster. I got water all over my router. So that's why he didn't come back. So he does apologize, but he said, thanks for, having us on. I appreciate being on here. It's always a good time.
And Sterling, I mean, let's not forget, Sterling is going to be on WGR tomorrow morning talking running backs.
Yeah. Oh, we got the baby.
The special guest.
New Bills fan.
Hi, buddy. Say hi. Oh. Say hi, everybody. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, he's so sleepy.
It's like this is like a Lion King moment right
now. Yeah, right? Future
Oh,
Buffalo Bills all-star right here. Future all-pro for the Buffalo Bills.
Future
Logan Phillip Romeo. Hey, I'll take it. If he wants to be a punter, I'll take it. A kicker. Hey, whatever he can do, let's use those skill sets. I'm so happy to be a dad. I wanted Kathy to bring him down to say hello to everybody. And again, thank you to everybody with the well wishes and everything. Mom and baby are both doing great. So we appreciate all of the words of encouragement and nice things people have to say. And again, we're glad he looks like his mother, right? So no talk about how he looks like me and he's ugly like me.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, Ashley, why don't you tell our fans as we get out of here how they can follow you and what you got going on here in the offseason?
So I'll be at Ashley Petty _ to be honest with you, it is Focus February. So I get off Twitter every year, the day after the Super Bowl for about a month or two, just to kind of chill out a little bit and focus on some other things in my life, make sure everything's good for the rest of the year. I'm with the Why So Serious podcast at Why So Serious podcast on Twitter. So follow us up. Hopefully me and Will be able to come on here a couple more times. He's at NFL Aquarium Pro on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, thank you for that. And we thank you for all your insight and just kicking it with us. We love having you on, Ashley. You are definitely a one of one in Bill's community. But again, this is the Cover One podcast network, or whatever you want to call it. This is the Hoof Live, and we're giving it to you every Tuesday. We got another podcast coming. It's going to drop on Friday. Be sure to tune in to WGR tomorrow as we talk running backs with the guys in the morning show. And you guys have a great night, and we out of here.
Go Bills.
Thanks, guys. Go Bills.